Inside a laminating unit, an ordinary shift spins out of control. Two operators work at a roller laminator. One feeds sheets, the other adjusts alignment near the rollers. The machine runs smoothly, but the safety guard stays open for convenience. While correcting a slight misalignment, the operator leans in. The moving sheet snags, and a loose sleeve is dragged toward the nip point as the laminator keeps pulling at full speed. Objects at the workstation shift under the force until the emergency stop is hit and the machine winds down to a stop. Machine guards and safe distances are non-negotiable. Operators must keep hands clear of active rollers and must not bypass guards during operation. Outside a loading bay, one tall fridge turns a simple push into an uncontrolled tip-over. A delivery truck is parked near bollards beside a dock. A large refrigerator stands on the ramp, loosely balanced on a wheeled base. Two workers move it. One pulls from the front, the other pushes from behind with no straps or stabilizers securing the load. As one worker leans in, the fridge shifts and tips. It drops off the ramp toward the truck, driving into the side and closing the narrow gap between them. The wheeled base jerks sideways, and the impact shows how fast an unsecured top-heavy load can turn the space between the fridge and truck into a crush zone. Never, ever move tall appliances without restraints. Use straps, dollies, and space to stay clear if a load tips. On a site road, a concrete mixer rolls forward while its spotter disappears into a blind spot. Beside an excavation, a mixer pauses. A high-vis worker walks to the cab, talks, then cuts across the front bumper. Staying tight to the truck, he drops from the driver's view into the blind area in front. Moments later, the mixer moves. The driver, thinking the way is clear, cannot see the area directly in front of the truck. As the vehicle rolls ahead, the front bumper and wheels enter the blind zone, turning that space into a hidden danger path. Pedestrians must not cross in front of heavy vehicles, stay out of blind spots, and move only after eye contact with the driver. In a busy tire workshop, one wrong move turns a routine inflation into a blast zone. Inside the workshop, a mechanic walks toward a heavy truck wheel mounted on a red changer near the bay entrance. The air hose snakes across the floor, feeding pressure into the large tire as he leans in to check it. Another worker stands further back by the partition wall, sorting tools and watching the job from a distance. As checks are made at the wheel, the overpressurized tire suddenly ruptures, releasing a high-pressure blast. The release drives the changer backward, knocks the motorcycle stand askew, and fills the bay with dust and debris, throwing parts and fragments across the floor. In seconds, the open shop turns into a cone of shock, noise, and flying pieces radiating out from the failed wheel. Stand clear of inflating tires and never ever lean over them. Use cages, distance, and pressure limits so a blowout can't reach the work area. On a rail platform, one step into high voltage turns a control cabinet into a fireball. Inside a busy rail workshop, an electrician walks along the narrow service platform above the tracks, hemmed in by metal railings and equipment. A train stands below while he's asked to quickly fix a fault on an electrical circuit feeding the work area. Believing it has been isolated, he opens the control cabinet beside the platform and leans in, one hand on the rail, the other moving toward the exposed components. As a tool closes on the loose connection, the still-energized circuit is bridged and a high-energy fault forms. In an instant, an arc erupts from the cabinet, filling the opening with fire, pressure, and metal vapor. The release blows the cabinet door outward, strips insulation from the conductors, and scatters tools and scorched metal along the narrow platform where work had been underway moments before. High-voltage zones must be entered only after de-energizing, grounding, and verifying clearance. Never, ever skip lockout, tagout, safe distance, and barriers. At a snowy loading dock, one pallet jack slip tips a wall of bottles over the edge. It's a winter morning at a loading dock dusted with snow and ice. A box truck is parked with its tail lift lowered to meet the edge of the dock. On the lift sits a tall, heavy pallet of green crates, and a worker stands beside it with a manual pallet jack, trying to drag the load from the truck toward the dock edge to unload faster. As the worker pulls, the pallet jack wheels roll too close to the outer edge of the tail lift. The heavy stack shifts, its center of gravity sliding past the lip, and the whole pallet tips sideways off the platform. Crates of bottles spill across the icy dock, the pallet jack yanked with them, turning the dock edge into an uncontrolled drop zone of sliding load, rolling bottles, and shifting equipment. Never, ever move a tall pallet on a tail lift unless the load is centered, fully supported, and the pallet jack is under control. Keep the platform level, edges clear, and only shift heavy stacks when the dock and lift give them solid, stable footing. In the factory yard, one wrong lift turns a quick task into chaos and danger. It's a busy afternoon in the loading area. A forklift carries a large, wrapped bundle stacked high, its weight pushing the limits of balance. The operator maneuvers carefully, but two coworkers climb onto the rear, trying to counterbalance the lift. Laughter and quick shouts mask the risk. No one expects what's about to happen. As the forks rise, the load pulls the vehicle forward. The rear wheels lift from the ground, pitching the forklift onto its front. The added weight on the back slips away, and the truck lurches, rocking on its front axle as the overloaded mast and unstable load drag the whole machine toward a tip-over. Forklifts demand respect. Never ever use people as counterweights or exceed load limits. Stability training and proper weight checks save lives before the first lift begins. On a rooftop construction site, one wrong step, and a loose roof panel gives way beneath the work zone. At the rooftop of a half-finished structure, workers fasten corrugated metal sheets under the afternoon sun. Each panel gleams bright, edges sharp, their footing slick from dust and heat. One worker kneels to secure a nail, his weight shifting just slightly, too slightly to notice the gap forming beneath him. Without warning, the sheet gives way. Metal folds like paper and drops into the frame, leaving a sudden opening where solid footing seemed to be. Tools skid across the ribs, clatter through the gap, and debris rains into the area below as loose material slides toward the unprotected edge. The rooftop turns instantly from a work surface into a maze of fragile sheets, hidden gaps, and fall-through zones. Roof work demands more than balance. It demands preparation. Always check panel stability, use safety harnesses, and never work unsecured near fragile or incomplete roof sections. Proper anchorage and inspection keep every step on the roof above open spaces from becoming a fall-through hazard. One swing of the crane, and a routine task turns into chaos. In the production hall, massive rollers of material line the floor beneath the overhead crane. A worker guides a suspended roll into place as machinery operates steadily nearby. The crane lifts slowly, the weight hanging above in silent tension as the operator focuses on alignment. Midway through the lift, the roll sways, slipping from its balance point without warning. The ton-heavy cylinder swings out of line and then plunges downward, slamming into the floor and equipment in the work zone beneath the hook. The impact sends the load rebounding and the hook gear rattling, showing how quickly an unstable suspended load can turn the space below into a crush zone. Never stand or pass beneath suspended loads. Confirm secure rigging, maintain clear distance, and pause all operations until every lift is stable. One moment near the press, and a normal shift in the factory changes due to loss of control. On the production floor, machines operate with precise rhythm and speed. Two operators work side by side at an industrial press, aligning parts for the next cycle. The shift runs smoothly as metal slides into position beneath the massive frame. Suddenly, the press cycles while material is still being adjusted. The guard fails to engage, and the ram drives down into the die area with full force before the access zone is clear. The unexpected strokes locks the machine on the part and triggers alarms across the floor, exposing how quickly an unprotected press cycle can close on anything left in its path. Follow lockout, tagout procedures and confirm full power isolation before maintenance or adjustments. Never ever bypass safety locks. One careless override can leave stored energy ready to fire a press without warning. Press safety starts with lockout. Verify zero energy before any manual work happens in the die or feed area. Don't forget to share what you learned today in the comments. Your insight could save a life. Take care.